everyone. We are here to talk about Terraform. Terraform is an open source infrastructure as a code tool developed by HashiCorp. It enables users to define and provision infrastructure in a declarative configuration language. Instead of manually setting up and managing infrastructure, Terraform allows you to describe the desired state of your infrastructure in code. So now we need to download it. To do that, go to the official Terraform website, and here on download we need to choose our operating system. We have macOS, Windows, and Linux. I will select AMD64 for Windows, but since I already have it, I begin you to follow the installation. Now I need to install Visual Studio Code on the official website, and we have here Windows, Linux, and Mac. Again, I will select Windows, but as I already have it, I begin you to follow. After that, we need to check on the terminal if Terraform was updated good. So we need to put Terraform version slash, and we check. After that, we need to install a Terraform extension for Visual Studio Code. We need to click on extensions and looking for Terraform. We need to select the official HashiCorp version, and once we have installed it, we can close. To do this demo, we need to create a new folder to create a new project. We can call test. Now we need to open Visual Studio Code, and we need to look for the folder we create. Once we open the folder, we need to create a new file. We can call, for example, main.tf, tf for Terraform, and we will put a simple code like output name and a value first test. Now we need to look for terminal here, and it's up on the right, and we need to put Terraform in it. Enter. Done. Good job. We already have our first command on Terraform. In this second part, we need to install another tools. Now we need to look for the AWS CLI. To do that, we need to download the last AWS CLI version, going to the official website of Amazon, AWS, and look for your operative system. We have Linux, macOS, and Windows. I will install the Windows option, but as already told you in the last video, I already have it. Once it's installed, we need to go to the terminal and check if it's good. AWS version. Okay. Then we need to put AWS configure, and now we need to check our credentials. To do that, you need to go to your account and look for the credentials. We need to take the access key ID and the secret access key ID. Since I already have it, I only press enter. Once it's already configured, we put here in the default region and output enter, and now we check AWS configure list and we can see how it works. Now, in the previous project, we can copy and paste this new code. It's more accurate, and we can see how we have a provider, a resource, the VPC, and a subnet, and another resource, which we will create an EC2 instance. Now we need to deploy putting Terraform in it. Now we need to apply Terraform apply. And after a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, we will have the check option. We need to put yes. And now we need to wait, meaning it's Terraform creating everything. It will be just a couple of seconds. And of course, we need to check in the manage console if it really works. Okay, seems everything was good. 3 resource added, so we need now to log in on our account and on looking for our console. Once we are logged in, we need to look in, for example, the EC2 instance resource, and okay, seems there is one. We need to check if it's ours, and yes, my instance EC2. We can see how was created using Terraform. And it's running. Now, what else we have? The VPC, right? So we can check if the VPC were created. So again, we need to look for VPC services. And now, yes, there is one. So on your VPCs, we can see my VPC created with the IPv4 we put it. So Terraform did it work good. Now we need to destroy it. So Terraform destroy and enter. We'll ask a confirmation, put in yes. And again, after a couple seconds, Terraform will apply the destroy command. Okay, we can see how destroy complete 3 destroyed, and we need to update the website, and let's see, yes, 0 instance. Let me check if VPC service is empty too, and your VPCs, yes, were deleted. Great job.
Hello everyone! In this tutorial, we're going to demonstrate how to host a static website on Amazon S3 with Terraform. In this tutorial, we will use Vim as a text editor in which all Terraform code will be written. First, we will open the main.tf file with the vim main.tf command. In this file, all Terraform code will be stored. You can find this file below the video. As you can see, this file contains all the Terraform code needed to deploy a static website on Amazon S3 within your AWS account. Now we will explain each block step by step and describe its function. The first block, the Terraform block, specifies the required providers and their versions, in this case AWS with a version of 3 or higher. The provider block for AWS configures your credentials found in your account and also specifies the region where you want to deploy your website. The random string resource generates a random string of length 6, which is then used for the S3 bucket name. This ensures the uniqueness of the buckets. The AWS S3 bucket resource creates an S3 bucket with a name generated with a random string. The force destroy attribute is set to true, allowing Terraform to delete the bucket even if it contains objects. The AWS S3 bucket website configuration configures the S3 bucket as a static website. It specifies the index and the error HTML file. The AWS S3 bucket public access block gives the public reading access to your files in your S3 buckets. The AWS S3 object resource uploads all the files in the HTML file, which I will show in a moment, to the S3 bucket. It iterates through the HTML file, and each file in the HTML file will be uploaded to the S3 bucket. Lastly, we have the AWS S3 bucket policy, which adds a bucket policy to the S3 bucket. The policy gives public read access to all objects in the bucket. Once we are done, we will close this file by pressing the ESC button, then the semicolon, and afterwards typing WQ. Now I will show you the HTML file that contains the index and the error HTML files, which we will use for our website. Once done, we will commence to write the Terraform commands. The first one is the Terraform init command, and it initializes a Terraform working directory by downloading necessary plugins and setting up the environment. Then we will type the Terraform plan command, which generates an execution plan outlining the changes Terraform will apply to the infrastructure. And lastly, we will type the Terraform apply command, which executes the plan changes, applying them to the actual infrastructure to achieve the desired state. So we see now we've added 7 resources. Now we will go to our Amazon console and see if these resources have been added to our account. As you can see, the S3 bucket has been added to our AWS account with both objects, the error and the index.html. Now, if you click on the index.html URL, we will see the HTML file is accessible to the public. Same with the error.html file. So here it is. We've just created our static website on S3. Thank you for your attention and good luck.